bound woman's name was Susan LeGros. Born with a silver spoon in her mouth, Susan had it all. Her parents were the wealthiest people in town, which made Susan the most popular girl at school. Life couldn't have been more perfect, but Susan's one flaw was how she treated men. Flirting and toying with whomever she chose, she left a long trail of broken hearts. Her friends warned she'd live to regret her ways, and they were half right. In Susan's senior year, she dated the star football player Chet Walters. The night of the senior prom, Chet caught his prom queen in another boy's arms. The next morning, the boy was found clubbed to death, and Susan was missing. 2 weeks later, Susan's body was found, buried beneath the football field's 50-yard line, bound in rope and strangled to death. Arrested and put on death row, Chet's last words were, "The bitch broke my heart, so I broke her neck." That jealous monster would have made a nice compliment alongside Susan. Such wretched words and behavior, but his results were quite fitting.
The beauty portion of this is the simplest I've done for this series. The bound woman has very simple makeup. Just some eyeliner, which I'll be duplicating with the NYX black liner, and mascara, which I'm going to be using the Milk Makeup Kush mascara, and a little lip color, which I found I'm Shook from the Jeffree Star and Manny MUA collab would be a perfect fit for. Adding some bruising around the eye area, I'm adding a light purple, which is Silver Lining from ColourPop, and I'm continuing that with a fluffy blending brush. And continuing with down the neck, I'm dabbing some liquid latex down to give it a base and make it easier to take off at the end. Adding a cotton square, which is cut twice in half and then bunched together a little bit. Then liquid latex over top of that as well to more secure it. Placing more liquid latex around it, being ready for the next step, which is scar wax. Quite a bit of the stuff actually. To use this, I'm going to be warming it up between my hands as I roll it, then placing it around the cotton square, both sides, and blending it better into my skin with Vaseline on my fingers. Real time, I spent about 5 minutes or so smoothing this down again with a lot of Vaseline on my fingers to best smooth it out, so it didn't stick to any portion that I was using. And with some kind of metal tool with more Vaseline on it, because if you don't add Vaseline or something that's going to be like a makeup remover on whatever tool you're using on it, it's going to come up because it's very, very sticky. I'm pushing down the edges away from the middle, like almost a moat, and more layers of liquid latex on top of that to further secure it. You always want to secure it with liquid latex. Time for the paint job though, and for that, around my head in a few places I'm going to be using a blue purple, which kind of comes off a little bit red on camera, in a cream paint and blending it out with my finger. They're generally going to be really easy to find around Halloween on what is called a bruise wheel, because that's exactly what they're used for, is for a bruising effect. Once I've got that down to my liking, I'm also adding in some around my broken neck. Bent neck lady almost, but not exactly. Around my neck though, I'm going to be setting that down with transition powder, which will set down the cream paint we've just put down, and if I add a layer of that down and then go over top with more cream paint, it gives the appearance of the muscles underneath the skin being bruised, and then also the skin, so it looks really, really cool. Furthermore, I'm using a red water activated paint around the inside of it to start the blood effect. I'm adding a off-white, aka bone tone, to the cotton square. Then, with scab blood, I'm going in with that shit. And then the running blood as well. And further blending even those guys out. The blood is mostly meant for the blood effect rather than the actual like drip method. Adding pearls around my neck, ideally more than one layer of them, because that's what she has, but mine were shorter, so I was only using what I had around the house, and I was only able to get one round of them around my neck. as she was buried underground, she's also seeming to have some little maggots on her. With that, I'm dripping 1 drop of liquid latex on a mobile surface. I think I just used a little plate from the dollar store. I'm waiting for it to dry, adding a little bit onto the area of my face that I'm working on, where I want the maggot to go, and then I'm curling up the dot of liquid latex, which by now, as soon as you curl up, will tend to look like a little bag, almost like a little maggot, and placing it on the liquid latex I've just added to my face, adding a tie in definitely not the right way. And you are done. Happy Halloween, guys.